Hello, everybody. I'm George Mossey. I'm here with Marshana Dahlia, and we are here for the 90 Day Fiancé podcast, episode 9. And there's a lot to cover. Yes, we are 9 episodes in, guys. I think we're about halfway through the season, and that's insane because I feel like it just started. And there's a lot going on, so we're going to jump right in. We're going to head over to Virginia Beach, where we saw Tarzan, Tarek, and Hazel last night for a hot second. And they were talking about lockdown and how they felt like lockdown was dampening their plans, which I thought was interesting because they only have 90 days to decide if they're going to get married. And I feel like the best way to figure out if you're compatible is to lock yourselves in a house together and see if you don't kill each other, right? Isn't that the best way to go?
I think if you can survive that, if you can survive anything pandemic related, I think that's been the ultimate test of any relationship. So if Tarzan make it through this, maybe they will survive getting a girlfriend.
That's how I feel. I feel like if they can deal with the pandemic being locked in the house together, they'll make it. And instead of worrying about their relationship and getting married in the venue, because remember episodes back we were talking about the venue, they spent this time on a dating app looking for Hazel's words, a hot girl.
Yeah, I don't really know. I was on Twitter last night, and if you don't follow us on Twitter, our Twitter handles are going to be below, but we live tweet every single show. And we were kind of having this debate back and forth on Twitter with a couple of people last night about, is this going to work? This is a recipe for disaster. Tarzan will not survive the girlfriend.
Not even a chance. The Minty situation sealed the deal. She did not like the attention that she wasn't getting from Tarek and what Minty was getting from Tarek. She's a jealous person in a relationship. The attention has to all be on her. So I don't understand I'm going to say this. I think that the girlfriend is more so for Hazel and not Tarek. And Tarek is not in on the joke. He doesn't know that this is not for him. And he keeps putting himself in the situation as though this is something that he's going to be taking part in. And it's not.
No.
All right, so let's talk about Rebecca and Zayed or Zaid. I don't know what, every night they call him something different. So we met Melanie, who we met on a different season, and that is her private investigator best friend. And she came over and she talked to Zaid and told him that he should start walking around the neighborhood and getting a job. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I caught that, and I'm so annoyed because everybody knows how the rules work with the K-1 visa. So to even give him grief, it's just ridiculous, right? So we all agreed last night on Twitter that Melanie is not a friend; she is a frenemy. Because to give Ziad that kind of grief is unnecessary, and furthermore, I think Ziad is being judged for Rebecca's bad decisions. It's not his fault that he's husband number 3 or 4, I lose count, and that she's used to picking up men from Northern Africa who come to the States and have other goals. That's not his fault. And honestly, deep down, I feel like Ziad is a good person. I do think that he does want to work and, really stand up and be that man and help support Rebecca. So to me, this is useless. It makes no sense.
It's too late, just like Tiffany and Micah. It's too late. He's here. Rebecca's in love with him. He's plastered on everything she owns, including her debit card. Like, it's too late. If he wanted to sabotage the relationship, that ship has sailed. Now it's more about, are they going to make it together? And I think people are trying to find a way to end the relationship. And the only way that we're going to see that is if Rebecca and Zaid decide to end the relationship. Outside interference is not going to change the way she feels.
I agree.
So we saw Amira and Andrew. We went into France, France, which was beautiful. The backgrounds were very beautiful. I can't imagine why she would ever want to leave where she lived. It was a great background where they were, and she met with Xavier, which is one of her best friends. He said that she's like a sister to him. And he was talking about how she was detained, and she explained to him how Andrew seemed to not care. And in the same sentence, she's like, oh, well, Andrew said that we should try again in Serbia. And the look on Xavier's face is the look that everyone in America was giving the TV screen as well. He was like, you were just detained for trying his plan. Now he has another plan. And you're considering doing this again. And we're all looking at the screen the same way Xavier's looking at Amira like, girl, really?
It's extremely self-centered to even ask Amira after everything she went through in Mexico City to even try again in Serbia, where, mind you, he won't even be able to go to wait for her. Like, it's just crazy. So, I mean, in this case, Amira, go ahead and listen to your friend, because Andrew is not good for you. He is not thinking about your well-being. And I understand the visa is going to expire and there's a little bit of a time constraint there, but this is a little bit ridiculous at this point. Like, we love you, Amira, and we want the best for you. And Andrew just isn't that.
He's not that. And I feel like with the COVID situation going on, if they really tried, they could get an extension on that visa. No one has brought up an extension, or the situation that's going on is not something that is typical. So I feel like if you were to call and ask for an extension, that isn't something that they would probably see as undoable. So I feel like instead of them trying that avenue, he's just pressuring her to fly into all these different weird, strange places across the world. And I just really hope she run away. He's not the right guy. And I saw her say, I think he'll feel angry or resentful towards me if I don't. Who cares?
Well, then he has to deal with those feelings on his own.
Right. Who cares? Let him feel however he wants to feel about you. Do what's best for you and be safe.
Yeah.
So last night we saw Mike and Natalie in Washington, and Mike's mom left, and Natalie began her quest for her ring again last night. This is the never-ending saga of she wants that ring. She stopped looking for it in the house, at least. We haven't seen her looking through closets and drawers and under the bed and in shoe boxes like she was doing a couple of episodes ago. But she did take Mike out, and they went shopping to get some ideas for the wedding, even though she doesn't have a ring, which I think they're going backwards. And Mike said during the shopping trip in one of his little interviews, he was like, I'm not ready to give her a ring back, let alone plan a wedding, because I'm still not convinced that she's the right person for me. And I feel like Mike is finally being upfront and honest with, well, I think he already knew, but with the cameras, with everyone, that this is not something that he is okay with. He's not ready to marry her, and she's definitely not ready to marry him.
Yeah, I mean, neither one of them seem to want to marry each other. Natalie just wants to get married. Like, whomever, pick a groom, dress a groom, any groom. It's not about, Mike for her. So it's just really about getting married and having another wedding, which we understand this is going to be wedding number 3, husband number 3.
Yes.
So I don't really get it. Mike is actually looking at Natalie herself and saying, do I want to be with her? And Natalie's just looking like, wedding, we need to plan, we need this, we need that. And it's like, come on, really? Both of them just look so miserable in each other's presence. And I'm not really understanding what the end game is here and why they're both, I mean, maybe they're walking it out because they feel like they came this far and they kind of have to, but I say just leave good enough alone, because you don't want to be in a life sentence with someone.
No. Natalie is just a very judgmental, harsh. She says such harsh things, and together they're toxic because he can be harsh and mean too when you talk to him that way. We've seen it on the show. And it's just a recipe for disaster, and it's going to be a disastrous marriage if they do get married. And I would hate to see how it ends, because you know how the marriages like that end. It's a very, very ugly, bitter, nasty battle. So hopefully they don't get to that point. I do know something about that, but again, we don't do spoilers on this podcast. So we will not be talking about that. You'll have to wait and see. All right, guys, that's it for part 1. We're going to be back for part 2, and we're going to discuss some of the craziness that happened last night, a pregnancy announcement, and Stephanie dropping bombs again. So again, I'm George Mossey. I'm here with Marshana Dahlia Spavento. I'll put our Twitters and Instagrams at the bottom. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. And don't forget, next week is the Super Bowl, and we are not getting 90 Day Fiancé, unfortunately, but we will see you all back on the 14th. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.